Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Kamil. Today is 28th of September 2020. Welcome to video number 276. Today I want to talk about how your grammar is connected to your intelligence. And to be exact, I want to talk about your roots. Why it's important to look at things that were in your past. Listen, the first thing that it's kind of obvious, which is not so obvious, that everything that happens in your life, it happens for a reason. And I'm not really talking about this kind of abstract or spiritual kind of spiritual reason or spiritual rules or something. I'm just talking about there's always a reason that something happens, meaning that you see the effect of something that happened before. Nothing really just shows up out of nothing without having any correlation to whatever happened before. So that's why this is kind of a thing that it's good to know, especially if you're a young person and you just started like a completely new chapter in your life. You feel lonely and you just feel that you're starting from scratch. That's not true. Completely not. Because if you look to your past, you will see that there's tons of people, tons of things that happen that brought you to being you right now. And see, it has a understanding that it has its pros and cons. First of all, it's allow you to see some great things that happen, but then it might shock you that there are things that you're completely not aware of, which are happening because something else happened, and you don't even understand that the way you think or the way you act is a reason is connected to something that happened before, and you had no idea about it. There's a simple story that probably some of you know because like a really well-known one. I'm just gonna tell you the kind of interpretation of it or kind of some version of it because I don't know what is really the truth. But the meaning is stayed the same. That there was a girl. She visited her mother, and her mother was preparing a meal. She was cooking some meal. It was like a huge piece of meat. Before she put it into the roasting pan, she cut the extreme parts of it from left and right, and then put it in the oven. And daughter was just looking at it, and she said, "Why do you do this? What is really the reason? That there's nothing wrong with this piece of food or piece of meat." And I'm just trying to figure it out. And mom says, "I was always doing this." And she says, "Yeah, I get it, but why?" Mom said, "I don't know. Let's call her Grandma." And Grandma says exactly the same thing. "I was always doing it, and I don't really know why. Let's call her my mother." So they're calling the mother of Grandma, and she says, "Yeah, the reason is very simple. My roasting pan was too small to feed the whole meat, so many times I had to cut the ends of it." And now 3 generations down, or at least 2 generations down, looking at themselves and say, "So we were doing something that had completely no sense and we never even thought about it?" And you see, this kind of simple story, but shows how many of the things that you do or that you believe in, it's based on something that has completely no relevance today. That is why, if you understand that everything happens for a reason, and that it's good to kind of look at it, to be able to see what is good, what is bad, what to do about it, and which are the things that are completely irrelevant, so I just have to get rid of it. Then you'll start to understand that your intelligence, which you have today, it's based on basically your understanding your past. So okay, so now let's just look and try to figure out what can we do. How are we supposed to really approach the subject to really take a look at what happened in my past? And I don't know, probably because of my experience, I'm really for doing lists. I really like to take a piece of paper and write down like tons of things that I really want to go deep into. Because listen, if I will ask you like a very stupid question, could you list as many as you can, the capital cities of in the world. Maybe you'll be able to put 10, maybe 15, maybe 20. Maybe if someone of you is really good in geography, you'll put like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50. But then if you're going to keep the list, and without even looking into the books, just going through life and think about it, then you'll hear someone talking about, oh yeah, I forgot about this one. You're going to watch the movie, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. And soon enough, you will see that your list is much bigger than you even expected that you will be able to compile. Why? Because you're just thinking about it and you're going deeper and deeper. And another thing is just someone said something, you've seen something somewhere, and you're going so much deeper than you ever thought possible. The same thing is going to your past. It's if you just start thinking, you're just gonna list a list of positive things, the things that I really enjoyed, really remember as a real key points of my childhood, of my past. You're gonna start doing the list and you're gonna put there like 10, 15 things. But then you're gonna start remembering things that you forgot so many years ago. Something that happened that was important, some people that you met, some people that you spent I don't know, maybe years with, that had so big impact on your life. And then not only you're going to get a list, but then you'll be able to write down what have you learned from these people? What have you learned from this situation? What have you learned from these experiences? What have you learned from those quotes from your grandparents? And then you start to see that your past was such richful, such dense experience that you'll just stop thinking that you're here alone, starting from scratch, because you never do. And the same thing, you can go through the list and write down things about your negative experiences, negative things that happened. And then going through all of this, you might be surprised how many of those things that you remember as something that was tough, that's something that you're struggling with until today. But maybe you'll sit down and say, I'm much more mature right now. I see world from a completely different perspective. And maybe now looking at those things and really kind of sitting down and thinking about them, you'll not only be able to kind of overcome the fear, overcome the pain of the situation, but then you'll understand that so many of them made you who you are today. Maybe that's why you're so tough. That's why it's not easy to get you to anger. That's why maybe you're not buying to this entitlement mentality, because you know that life will treat you hard, and those people who play this game, they're gonna learn this lesson by heart, or learn on the hard way. But maybe those negative things kind of crystallize some things for you, made you aware of things that so many people, it takes them years to get there. And now we've got positive list, negative list, and a list of impact. And then you'll start to see that your life is even more rich than you ever thought. And that's gonna be amazing, because you're gonna learn a lot from it. And you'll see that you learned already. And then what can you do about it? You see, one of the things that it's kind of fascinating to me is that whatever you learn, you don't learn just one thing, you learn two. Because you learn two extremes, because the more you know about one thing, the more you're going to know about the other. Everything that you're gonna stumble upon in your life, that you're gonna learn, that you're gonna master, you'll see that you can use for bad and for good. If you learn about the past, you're gonna learn about the future. If you try to look at the future, you'll see that it was already kind of prepared from the past. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that I always remember. My friend who was working in anti-terrorist unit on the Polish border, he told me, "Do you know who is the best in smuggling things into the country or outside of out of the country? Border Patrol, because they know all the rules, they know everything which is in the book to protect the border. So that's why they can find loopholes or holes such big that they can drag an elephant through it. The same thing with here. The more let's say, the more you think about how to fight, the more you learn how you can hurt somebody else. The more you're going to be much more intelligent, you will start to see that you can use your intelligence for good, or you can use this intelligence to hurt someone. The same thing with time. You'll learn that the more you learn about the past, the more you'll be able to understand your present, and then understand and kind of perceive the future, to be prepared for it. That's why so many people say that if you don't learn from the past, you're gonna make the same mistakes in the future. Because it's all like round and round. Everything already happened. It's just gonna happen again, but masked in other form, in other, other package. But there's nothing new under the sun. So that's why you will be surprised. The farther you're gonna go into the past, understanding what made you who you are today, and you will understand this amazing impact from your past on your present and your future. You're going to learn so many things that then when the future will come, you'll completely be prepared, because the thing is, it's coming. I can see it now because I've been there already. I've seen that. My grandma told me about it, and now I'm prepared. I know what is the conclusion, what is the lesson that she did from the situation. Now I know how I should act. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's amazing to see how your past will explain your future. And you'll see much more just if you decide to spend time and learn from your past. So this is what I want you to take from this video. Again, I want you to be really a smart guy. I want you to be able to really see how amazing impact it will have on your life if you look at your past. It's going to show you so many things. It's going to show you how much of the past is your legacy, how much of this is something that you can really enjoy and really kind of be proud of, and how many of these things will explain why you are who you are, will explain why you believe the things that you believe, why you act like you act. And then it's going to show you how this whole thing will play out in the future. Because learning the past will explain the future. That's why I want you to think about it. I want you to do something about it. Because, understanding that everything happens for a reason, understanding how your past is important, you'll understand that your grandma is not only connected to your intelligence, but your grandma is connected to your future. If you like this video, like, share, comment. If you didn't, comment as well. Tell me what you think. Tell me what is your experience. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, just give me a shout. I'll be glad to do it for you. That being said, see you tomorrow.